we thank, as always, all the presenters that come forward, because even though it's made to look easy, you know what it takes to have to go and research to make the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and scripture. You know, when we were little, we used to get them coloring books that had the dots with the numbers, and you had to connect the dots, and if you don't do it right, the image doesn't come out right. What we have to do, we're trying to connect the dots up here to make it make sense. And it's not an easy work. So we thank our sister once again for that wonderful, wonderful delivery. All praise is due to Allah. Very quickly, I'm going to close it and bring on our student regional. Sister Linda lifted, Allah is the source of all strength. We can prove it at no limit of time. Just get in trouble. You ain't going to call your friends. You may not say Allah, but you're going to say God. And that's where we're going to be. And listen to this. Could you imagine how it is going through life without a knowledge of God? Just some little quick words. It says going through life without a knowledge of God is like an unsharpened pencil. It has no point. So if we want to make any sense in this world, we need to sharpen ourselves up, and the only way to do it is we got to come out to the classes that are set up for us to get us sharp, and we can write on the history that needs to be made for ourselves and our people. So with that being said, let's bring up a history writer. He's writing it in advance. He's a hard-working soldier, but more importantly, he's your and my brother. He's our student regional minister, Rodney Muhammad. Let's bring him on with a rousing round of applause. Assalamu alaikum.
Let's give a hand to all those that spoke before. Praise be to Allah. All praise is due to Allah. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful, the one God to whom praise is due, the Lord of the worlds, we thank Almighty God. We cannot thank him enough for all of his prophets. As he has revealed the truth to them, we make no distinction between them. But from Abraham to Muhammad, we are thankful to the men that did their work. We can look at their work as a sign of ours. And we are thankful to Almighty God, most of all, that in these last days he's chosen to intervene in our affairs. In the divine person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praise is due forever. Most, particularly in Black America, don't know him. And we are learning more about him. But you know something of the impact of his presence and his work because you know of Minister Malcolm X. You know of Muhammad Ali, and you know of Imam Waluddin Muhammad, and there are others who were luminaries impacted by the presence of one that he chose who grew into his consciousness, his mind, what he desired for us and what his God desires for him. His student and servant, an exalted man now, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, his choice. They can like him or not. They can love him or hate him. They can want him or reject him. But you can't deny the truth spoken by him. He refused to give in to our weaknesses. And so he kept a very firm position based on what God shared with him. God raised him with root knowledge and unequaled wisdom and a strong law. And he toughened his messenger under that strong law. We're thankful to the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, who said, Allah has made me to take his place among the people. And he said to his servant, his student, his apostle, he's not our student, he's our teacher. He's not our follower, we're his. Under his leadership, of the eternal leadership of the nation, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, he's given us his student, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who said to us, Elijah said he would return. And so many are looking to see Elijah's return, and we don't realize he's already here. And his students, someone would ask him one day, when will we see the leader? And he'll say, have I not been with you all this time? Yet you say, when will I see him? And he's in me, and I'm in him. Yea, he and I are one. It's got to happen in the mind. He didn't say line your body up with mine. You know, when we stand physically in ranks, we line up straight. They make sure the ranks are straight and everything. But he said, no, you line your mind up with my mind. Wow. And don't straighten up just your shoulders and you put your stomach in and your chest out. Straighten up your mind. Yeah. And that way, I need you to evolve in your state of consciousness, and then you'll leave a former state for a higher state. So I thank him for his servant, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I greet you with the greeting words of peace in the language and tongue of our Father, Salam Alaikum. It's always wonderful to hear people speaking before you come on. You just feed from it, you know. And you could just listen to different people coming up, speaking this word from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We're in a troubled period. And we fight very hard, so you know what we're trying to do, to show us that a solution is in the scriptures. Notice what I said, it's in the scriptures, not in the religions. The religions have failed us. But the word of God, if properly seen, interpreted, and communicated, you'll find it won't fail you. It's a form of education desperately needed, you know. It's a form of education desperately needed because, believe it or not, with all of the institutions of the present world, the minister said you can get some good learning from them, but they can't take us into the root of ourselves. And we gotta wonder, how the hell can we go to some of the greatest schools and produce some of the brightest individuals in history and the present time from our own people? And we can't seem to get out of this mess. And even the least informed, least educated, least skilled black person in this civilization knows something's wrong. something's just not working right. And over again, as people give analysis, now we got 24-hour news, and you could just listen to analysis all day, but nobody has analyzed this thing to get seemingly to the root of the problem. In social scientific thinking, the first crucial step to problem solving is what? A clear identification of the problem. If the identification of the problem is not clear, when you go for an answer and or solution, it'll only be a half-hearted, part-time solution to a problem that's full-time. And you end up with the problem again. Pretty soon, we become the product and the practitioners of failure. And failure just makes the human being embrace the spirit of defeat. You know, as the minister said, the way this world is going, it makes you doesn't even want perfection. You just say, hey, nobody's perfect. In other words, and what you're not saying, what I'm not saying is, then can't nobody be perfect, which means completed. And there's no, we're bearing witness that we don't believe there's any power that or formula that can perfect us. So we're wrong in that. And then say we are believers in, followers of Jesus Christ, who said, be ye perfect, even as your Father who in heaven is perfect. So if we believe him, we got to figure, then, okay, how do we do it? Because it's not magic. It's science. What is the science that brings perfection? So we are taking a few moments out today to talk about something, but I wanted to talk about, you know, we have an important men's meeting coming up tomorrow night. It's nationwide. And I asked for all of us, male and female, to have that flyer in our phone. Does everybody have a flyer in their phone? Some of you shaking your head, you don't have it. See, I got staff to make sure this happens. I don't know how we ever gonna get to where we need to get to until we get a culture of execution. Because if everybody got it in their phone and we're all communicating on, that means we all had a chance to send a flyer out ourselves to networks to maximize exposure of it. Because the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who's feeding from on high, has decided to be present. Now, there's a lot of meetings going on. He's not present, but he wants to be present at this one. That ought to really energize us and made us make sure everybody got it on their phone and are sending it out. And come on, man. You can't be casual and a follower of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad at the same time. The two don't go together. I guess that's why the lesson asks, how bad do you want to see this enemy off the planet? Do we really want it? But anyway, we are on the subject. It comes from a section of the Quran, the recipient of revelation. Somebody that receive something, somebody that's on the receiving end of some great communication and or message that's vital to humanity in truth. And according to a divine plan, God had decided that the last message and work to humanity for this age, which we learn is 6,000 years, that he would choose what was on the bottom for this message to come to in order to come to the top. And that means anyone that takes the message and tries to go to people that are at the top, you're going to find that the people at the top are going to reject it. Jesus gave his disciples a parable about a great feast, and look for all the important people in civilization to invite them. Get them an invitation so they'll come. And you know what happened? Everybody was too busy. Remember? And he said, they came back and told Jesus, everybody's too busy for the feast. He said, then go into the highways and byways. Get the people who live on the margins. Get the folks that are down there who's on Social Security and welfare, and some people just hustling. They don't even fill out 1040s. Get the people that are on the margin, that are under the iron foot of oppression. Get them who know that they have a need, but they don't know where to go to get the need satisfied. So they went out in the highways and byways to get that. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we established last week, indeed is a recipient of revelation. And what he received, he was so fired up. He said, I know where I'm going. To the people at the top, black folks that have been to all the institutions of learning, black folks that have a high level of skill sets. If I teach them, they'll get the folks of us on the margin, they'll get us up, we'll be up overnight. He saw the greatest work and the hardest work that any man would have to deal with. And he said, I think I got a way to do it. The people who are most learned, we'll get them to help their brothers and sisters at the bottom. The thing is, something happened along the way of their education. Right? Yes, they've learned it. Yes, they know it. But they only use what they know and what they have for the man that pushed his people down in the first place. So they have no desire to get us up. So they rejected his message and rejected him. We don't need Muhammad. So he found willing followers at the bottom of civilization. And so we were opening our meetings up. We weren't talking about this message has picked up our people from the universities and we said from the mud of civilization. Come on, somebody. The man and woman at the bottom. Mr. Muhammad started working with us, then they criticized him. You don't have the educated group. You don't have those that are coming from the universities and everything. He said, then I should be given all the more credit for producing giants. Out of people that you made midgets, I produce giants. We should have loved and appreciated Elijah Muhammad. He should never be written out of black history. We should never cooperate with those that are writing him out of black history. Well, Elijah, his teaching was good for that time. Then what teaching is good for this time? What are you teaching? Because the minister said, whatever you're learning, whatever you're being taught, we can tell what it is by what you're doing. Talk to the average man on the street, they say they ain't doing nothing. Then whatever they're being taught, it amounts to nothing. Has any message come for us today? Yes, but God said you're only going to get it from the recipient of revelation. You don't want him, you don't want the message. Ask the people who have taken a little bit of Elijah's message and try to rub some little program together, abracadabra. And you got a little program out here. And they have a method now where the same people that oppress you give you a trophy for your suffering, but they don't talk about who made you suffer.
That's right. Leave themselves out. Teach.
They love throwing Dr. King in our face after they murdered him. They didn't murder him, because they couldn't use him. They murdered him because they couldn't use him anymore. They love to have Negroes around him, train a black man not to protect his woman. So when the dogs are biting this woman and beating her up and hoses on your children and black men just stand around and watch it, they love that kind of movement. That's why they wanted to keep him away from Malcolm X. Malcolm was talking about by any means necessary. Back then in the 60s, that scared folks. They wanted to keep him from Cassius Clay, who the Honorable Elijah Muhammad named Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali, they wanted to control his money. And he said, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, dear Holy Apostle, they talking about breaking my knees. The messenger said they got knees too. Make all men and boys join the FOI. Don't join just the Crips and the Bloods. Join the FOI. We're making some brave fighters, ready to give their life in a moment's notice. So, receiving revelation has been so manipulated and misguided. That Judaism got poisoned. Original Hebrews are black, but when Yaqub's children came out of the caves, don't have time to go into all that, they went into the caves, but they did come out. Go to the cave now, you can't find them. Well, where you going to find him then, Brother Rodney? You in line trying to get a job from him. He ain't in the cave no more. He's ruling. But they came out intermarrying and securing the high-level writings of the Hebrews and corrupting it. By the time Jesus gets on the scene, some people that ain't nowhere in the Bible are all of a sudden in the book of Matthew. The Pharisees. They weren't nowhere to be found. Abraham never dealt with them. Moses didn't have them. Moses had rebels and didn't have Pharisees. People walked out on Moses and Aaron. Fiery serpents had to be sent on them, but it wasn't Pharisees, Sadducees, and scribes. They only show up by the book of Matthew, where they come from. See, they are all planted in now because they done come back from Babylonian captivity with an agenda. Why would Jesus tell the people, do all that they teach you from the law of Moses? In other words, do what Moses said do, but he told them, but don't do as you see them do, for verily I say unto you, if you pattern yourself behind them, you'll never enter my Father's kingdom. These are the people teaching in the house of worship. He said, if you follow their way, then what Moses talked about, you'll never see it. So there's something wrong, not with the books, something wrong with the teachers. That lets you know that there's a requirement that comes out of an obligation from God to do something about the people being misdirected, misguided, and mistaught. Why? Because there's a law working in the nature of God that when you are deprived of that which you are divinely entitled to, it builds up in us a longing. And that longing, spiritual, emotional, mental, is ultimately deposited in the genetic pool. And from the womb of a woman, a child of destiny is born. He's already constitutionally tailor-made to deal. All he needs after birth is to be in the right environment, exposed to the right elements, to grow into maturity, strength, and power. That's why you'll always see the enemy's plan is we're expecting somebody to be the recipient of revelation. We got to head him off at the maternity ward.
Yes, sir.
We heard he's going to be born. He's never born amongst rich women. Huh? No, he's born from women from among the oppressed. So they put watchers over us. Because Satan promised Allah, I'm coming from the left and the right. So people who openly show hatred towards you, your guard is always up. You let them around you. But there's another group that don't. Malcolm used the analogy of the wolf and the fox. You walking down the street and you see a pack of wolves coming, growling, you really intimidated. You got to figure out what you're going to do. But I saw a fox the other day. He ran past. He just looks. And I was blowing some leaves off, and I said, look at that squirrel trying to run up under the leaves as I'm blowing them. But it wasn't trying to run. It had been skinned, and the whole tail was still on it. something had killed it, and it was that fox. See, that fox looks unintimidating, but Malcolm said he's still a canine. Both the fox and the wolf belong to the dog family. Huh? So there's another group coming around here, and they're keeping watch at the maternity ward, working birth control measures, not just to try to reduce population, but the real aim is to catch the Messiah. Now, of course, they're too late. Huh? Yeah. That's not a mission accomplished. Yeah. And so all the recipient of revelation needs now is to just be exposed in the right environment, according to the plan of God. You say, well, Moses was made to grow up. He didn't grow up with the righteous. He grew up in the house of God's enemy. Huh? But Moses, his sister approached him and said, shall I not send you the child to a woman? That's right. That can suckle him, you know, to take care of him in that. Yes, and it was Hiroshibet, it was the mother of Moses, so he's drinking the milk. The chemistry of the righteousness of his mother is growing inside of this child while he's in the house of his enemy. Are you following? And it's only a matter of time before God uses an episode, an event somewhere, where it looks like, for all practical purposes, all the statistics show you're going to be the same kind of Negro that we made all the other ones be, but all of a sudden something happens. And you make contact with someone, and instantly you are turned and you become 100% convert. So it was with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He said, I had always studied, you know, Jesus in the Bible, the resurrection, the second coming of Jesus. I had always studied the judgment and things like that, but he didn't have the fullest understanding. He said, but when I heard this man's conversation, when I heard this man's teaching, see, it tallied with what I already had stored up in here. It brought a greater light to it. And see, he said he was turned and became 100%.